NGW's four-man knockout tournament to find a new #1 contender to Nathan Cruz concludes here in your main event as the former champion makes his way to the ring.
Coming to the ring along with NGW General Manager, Mr. Richie West. He is a member of Control and hails from Leeds. Winning tonight at 250 pounds, this is Rampage Brown.
Don't forget, Rampage Brown was the man that Nathan Cruz defeated for the Undisputed title. But before that defeat at the hands of Cruz, Rampage Brown was unstoppable. Rampage Brown was the first ever unified NGW champion. Remember that incredible Iron Man match with El Ligero, and Rampage Brown was a one-man wrecking machine. But in many people's eyes, he never got the rematch against Nathan Cruz that he rightfully deserved in the opinion of many experts. So now that rematch is just one victory away. Unfortunately for Richie West and Rampage Brown, that victory must come against the man who many believe also should have another shot against Nathan Cruz. That's Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson. And if you didn't see the last time Rampage Brown and Zack Gibson went head-to-head on this programme, then let me give you a history lesson. Because not even former Ring of Honor heavyweight champion Nigel McGuinness, the man known as Desmond Wolfe to TNA fans, could contain it. That match broke down in front of a packed Liverpool Olympia, and it broke down in the worst way imaginable. But Zack Gibson was able to win by disqualification. Referee Chris Roberts has been drafted in so that Richie West cannot claim biased officiating. Will he be able to control and maintain a level of order? Now we find out.
Going down the aisle, winning tonight at 225 pounds, he is Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson.
Zack Gibson has become an increasing thorn in the side of Richie West and the Control. But in terms of the member of the Control who has taken the most personal disliking to Zack Gibson, it is the unstoppable monster himself, Rampage Brown. Remember, Zack Gibson was not really a fan favourite for a very long time here, but it was because of Richie West's interference in Zack Gibson's his big showdown. Many believed it would be the third and final showdown between Gibson and Cruz, but Richie West interfered in that contest and it cost Gibson. As a result, Gibson flipped out. He put his hands on Richie West and threw him to the ground. And if you remember the look that Richie West gave Zack Gibson, we knew in that split second that the tide of NGW would change, possibly forever. And as a result, the crowd very quickly got behind Zack Gibson in his battle against Richie West and the Control. And that last contest between Gibson and Rampage Brown was an incredible showdown. And I'm certain we will see shades of it again here, and maybe it will be surpassed because the stakes are so much higher. Because only one man will go on to win this four-man knockout tournament and get a shot against the show stealer Nathan Cruz on next week's programme. And look at this, big hard right forearms by Gibson and big right arms from, Gibson hits with forearms. Rampage Brown's arms are so big they become weapons all on their own. And look at that, open hand and forearms. And look at Rampage Brown, this guy is a machine. This guy is a monster. But this guy is in there with one of the toughest, most rugged competitors we've ever had on this programme in Liverpool's #1, Zack Gibson. But Gibson is a long way from Liverpool. Here in Putty for British Wrestling Weekly on this week's show as Gibson ducks a clothesline, comes back, forearm with a rope assist. And a big European uppercut. And this one is going to be very different to what we saw in our opener in the Gen X League, because this will just be a brawl. This will just be a fight. And I would be surprised if the ring ropes here could, look at this. God, it's broken down, slaps, forearms. These guys just do not like each other at all. You've heard of the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Well, never has it been as clear as we're seeing on this show. And Gibson there was not able to hit Brown with quite the fight that he originally had, and that short arm clothesline. It almost looks as if in the early goings of this one, Rampage Brown's devastating offense has taken an early toll on Zack Gibson. He went for that implant DDT, but Gibson span out of it. And Rampage Brown went down hard on that shoulder. And now, Gibson working on that shoulder and arm. And you know that's a prelude for the Shankly Gates, that submission. And look at this, straight on the arm. God, Gibson is such a tactician, a strategist, a technician in that ring. Because like a shark that smells blood, he can see that now Rampage Brown's arm and shoulder are in trouble. And look, he's going for it. He's going for that Shankly Gate. And if he can pull that back, and look, Rampage Brown using that butcher's hook grip to try and block it, and a big boot. Size 13 boot. Square between the eyes of Liverpool's #1. And Gibson now thrown up and over. Lands down. Tried to prevent that by landing on his feet. But the sheer force of that from Rampage Brown was too much. And that replay there shows what happened with that big boot. Despite Gibson's attempts to go through the arm, and you've got to believe that NGW's undisputed unified heavyweight champion, the show stealer Nathan Cruz, who you saw earlier, is going to be sat at the monitor watching this one, because in just 7 days' time, Cruz will face the winner. Because when you hold the most important televised prize in British wrestling today, the challengers come thick and fast. But the real question now is, what condition will the winner of this contest be in if they do in fact make it to Nathan Cruz on next week's show? Because look at this offense from Rampage Brown. How far and how long can Zack Gibson defend against this level of punishment? We're going to have to take a very, very short commercial break, but don't you dare go anywhere, because British Wrestling Weekly continues. Back here with you on British Wrestling Weekly, and you join us in the middle of our 4-man knockout tournament finals to crown a new #1 contender to the NGW Undisputed Heavyweight title, as Liverpool's #1 Zack Gibson takes on Rampage Brown, who gets thrown to the outside of the ring. And the show stealer Nathan Cruz will be stood by the monitor watching this one, because the winner of our main event on this week's show will take on Cruz in just 7 days' time for the NGW title. So it will either be Cruz versus Gibson or Cruz versus Brown, as Brown's arm has taken incredible punishment during the commercial break. These two went back and forth, and they hit each other with everything they had, because the most important televised prize in the UK today, and a shot at it, is on the line as Gibson fights back with those big forearms, ducks a clothesline and a flapjack in the centre of the ring. And Brown landed arm and shoulder first, and you can bet that Gibson will go for that Shankly Gate at the very first opportunity. God! Sends Brown shoulder first into that steel ring post, and he hit that hard, it shook the entire ring. And you've got to believe that Gibson is feeling a winning combination of moves now, because he's going for that big suplex. And can he power Brown over? My lord, and he does. God, Brown is a big man, and Gibson suplexed him out of his boots, and referee Chris Roberts comes down, and look at Richie West on the outside. For a moment there, he thought that Brown was out of this, but he is called the Control's unstoppable monster for a reason, and that's because he is literally unstoppable. In fact, the only man ever to stop him was Nathan Cruz. But with a suplex like that, as you see in our replay, Gibson may just be the second. Remember, last time these two fought each other on this programme, Gibson won, but by disqualification as a result of Nigel McGuinness being unable to control these two men. So referee Chris Roberts has been brought up from Wales to keep order in this contest. And if he is able to do it, then I will eat my hat, because these guys back and forth have just given every single powerful blow that they can. And Roberts here is really going to have his work cut out for him, because if this contest gets closer to its conclusion, because I can feel it in the air, as can Gibson, then you've got to believe that Richie West and the Control will come into play. And Gibson now going for that Shankly Gate submission move, and Brown using the butcher's hook grip to try and prevent it. Fighting back and forth. Gibson has that arm like a pit bull. He will not let it go. And now Rampage Brown having to, and a roll-up there, and holds the tight arm. Referee Chris Roberts, great officiating. Great officiating by Chris Roberts. Saw that pull of the tights and refused to count the 3. And you've got to believe that Rampage Brown is a scary man to stand up to. And look at this. Oh, and then he roll out. Oh, and Gibson there. They say turn around is fair play. Gibson held the tights, but Roberts refusing to count the pin there as well. And give Roberts credit. He was brought in to keep order. And so far, he has done a stellar job. These guys, look at the exhaustion on both men. Seriously, during the commercial break, they did not stop. They went tooth and nail, back and forth, because that belt and a shot at is on the line. And now you can see the exhaustion as Gibson rolls up, and he's got the tights again. And once again, Roberts, and look, like a mirror image of each other. And Roberts just will not let it slide, because he knows just how important this 4-man knockout tournament is. And look, Gibson's got to watch out here because he put his hands on an official. I understand the frustration, but he does not want to get disqualified, because it does not matter how the winner wins in this contest, the winner will get the shot at Nathan Cruz next week. So a disqualification will lose that for Gibson. This crowd here in Pudsey, this is like, it's turned into a boxing match of sorts. And look at that armbar. Just when I thought it had broken down into a brawl, Gibson brings it back to wrestling, but Rampage Brown, Samoan drop in the center of the ring, and that could be the difference maker. Gibson latched onto that arm with that armbar, a prelude for the Shankly Gate submission, and Brown, just a 2. It may have been a 3 if Brown was able to roll into that cover faster, but the exhaustion is taking its toll as the head of the Control, Richie West, looks on. We knew this was going to be a good match. We knew this was going to be a big fight. But I'll be honest with you now, it has surpassed my expectations. So far, these guys have fought even harder than they fought the last time we saw them on this program, and that is saying something. And Chris Roberts there making sure that these two do it in the centre of the ring. And look at Gibson, he's saying, come on. He is calling Rampage Brown to hit him with everything he has. It's almost like rope-a-dope that Muhammad Ali used against George Foreman in Zaire, in the Rumble in the Jungle. Look, he is. He's calling Rampage Brown to bring it on. And Gibson's strategy here must be to hope that Brown wears himself out. And he is. It's working, but Brown has not seen Gibson on the second rope. You know what he's going for? He's going for that Merseyside drop, and if he hits it from the second rope, and he does! My God! He hits it! And that may have just knocked Rampage Brown straight out. Gibson used an incredibly risky strategy because he decided to let Rampage Brown burn himself out by hitting Gibson as hard as he could. And now Brown is on the outside, Gibson is in the ring, and Gibson, what's he going for? Dive, suicide dive through the second rope. That dive almost turned in to a missile, a human missile. And look at this. Kaz Crash and Sam Wilder, we knew it was only a matter of time before we saw the rest of the Control. And Kaz and Wilder here must have smelt that Rampage Brown was in trouble, and now they are circling the ring. And what's Gibson going for? Oh, and Gibson's got a steel chair. Gibson's got a chair, and he is using that to protect himself, because it's 1 man against 4 right here in your main event. Rampage Brown is out for the count on the outside, and now Chris Roberts, who has done such a good job of maintaining order, is really, really good. God. Chris Roberts is letting this one go because now he must prize that steel chair away from Zack Gibson. Oh no. Rampage Brown has just got up and seen Gibson with a chair and grabbed one himself. Chris Roberts is between 2 massive men and 2 steel chairs, and he's going to need to get those chairs off of those 2 men. And look at this. And this one's broken down, and Roberts has called for the bell, and it's, got to believe, it's a double disqualification. Brown takes a swing, and Gibson, whoa. Oh, God. That rang out like a shotgun through Pudsey Civic Hall as Gibson strikes Brown, and this one has completely broken down. And we need to go to Stevie Aaron to get the official word here. But I'm guessing this one was a double disqualification. What is it, Stevie?
Ladies and gentlemen, the result of this contest, the referee has disqualified both men.
Double
Therefore,
DQ.
this match is a double disqualification.
Wow. What does that mean for next week's NGW heavyweight title showdown? Because the winner of this contest, as we know, was set to face Nathan Cruz. But now there is no winner. We have no winner in this four-man knockout tournament. And this situation, we knew it would break down, but I don't think anybody expected it to break down in quite the way that it has. Well, they're playing Zack Gibson's music, but that makes no difference at all, because Zack Gibson has not won this. He may have won the psychological battle, but at this point in time, there is no #1 contender for next week's main event, despite the fact that we've promised it for weeks now. What is NGW management going to do to rectify this situation? What a story. And this crowd supporting Zack Gibson as they should, because he gave one hell of an effort and one hell of a main event. But we have just 7 days' time to find out who in fact will face the show stealer Nathan Cruz for the NGW title. Back over to you, Charlie Shakespeare.